Okay, so, we always love it when you send in interesting stuff for us to dig into.
Yeah, definitely.
And today's topic is no exception.
Right.
You've sent us some information about this Xmarton FLXX can,
We have, yep.
and it looks super interesting.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to take a deep dive into this and figure out what it's all about.
Yeah, I think, a lot of our listeners are really into this whole idea of smart vehicle management.
Right?
And this seems to fit right in with that.
Exactly, and pull out, the really important takeaways for them.
Right.
From what you've sent us, looks like we've got some excerpts from a PDF.
Yeah, a pretty detailed one by the looks of it.
Yeah, so we should be able to get a pretty good picture
Yeah.
of what's going on.
Definitely.
So, just from these sort of initial descriptions that we've seen,
Yeah.
the Xmarton FLXX Icon looks like, on the surface it's a GPS device, but it's clearly doing a lot more than just that.
Oh, yeah, it's way more than just a simple tracker.
Yeah.
It's really designed for what they call intelligent vehicle management.
Right.
And one of the key things that stands out right away is that it doesn't need a digital key to work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's a big difference from some other systems out there.
Yeah.
It's also got a whole bunch of security features like really comprehensive reporting.
Okay.
And even get this, an online booking system so you can share vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty neat, huh? And it all works through electronic protocols.
Okay.
And they can handle like photos and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you can access all of this through their mobile app or a web portal.
So it's super accessible then.
Exactly. They've really tried to make it easy to use.
That's great.
Yeah. And from what I've seen, the main goal here seems to be to make managing vehicle fleets way more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But it also looks like they're trying to give individuals, like people who just own one car, some really smart control over their vehicles too.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like it's going way beyond just showing you where your car is on a map.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot more to unpack here.
Okay, so let's start unpacking then.
Sure.
So it seems like basic GPS tracking is kind of the foundation.
Yeah, you could say that. It's the starting point for sure.
Right.
But the FLXI can go so much deeper than that.
Okay.
What really stands out to me is just how much detail it captures.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just talking about seeing how much fuel you're using. It actually calculates the cost of that fuel too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is a huge help if you're managing a fleet of vehicles.
Yeah, for sure.
It can even detect if someone's trying to, mess with the fuel system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like fraudulent refueling attempts, things like that.
Wow.
It's all about helping businesses keep their expenses under control.
That makes sense.
But it goes beyond just fuel. It also keeps track of the battery's charge level,
Oh, okay.
how much fuel you have left, how far you can drive on that fuel.
So it's giving you the range, basically.
Exactly. And it keeps a log of all the distances you've covered and every single place you've been.
So it's building up quite a detailed history of the vehicle's usage.
Oh, yeah. It's like a digital diary for your car.
That's really cool.
And you know what else is cool? It can tell the difference between business trips and personal trips.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, which is super helpful when it comes to things like taxes or mileage tracking.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part is all this information, whether you got one car or a whole fleet, it's all available through their app or their website.
Yeah, that sounds like a huge win for convenience.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about making it easy for you to manage your vehicles.
And you were talking about tracking where a vehicle's been. It sounds like you can actually monitor them in real time, too.
Oh, yeah. You can watch them move on the map as they're driving.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, and you can set up virtual boundaries, too.
What do you mean by that?
So, like, let's say you don't want your company vehicles going outside of a certain area.
Mm-hmm.
You can draw a zone on the map, and if the vehicle goes outside that zone, you get an alert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's called geofencing.
Okay, that's really cool.
And you can even switch a trip from business to personal right from your phone.
Oh, wow. So you have a lot of control on the fly.
Exactly. It's all about flexibility and giving you the tools you need to manage things your way.
I like it.
And those instant notifications you mentioned,
Yeah.
those are super useful too.
What kind of notifications are we talking about?
Well, for example, you get an alert if the device is disconnected from the vehicle
Oh, well, that makes sense.
or if it's reconnected.
Okay.
And you can even set it up to remind you about maintenance deadlines.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like having a personal assistant for your car, making sure you don't forget anything important.
So it's really taking care of everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, you mentioned security earlier.
Mhm.
And that's obviously a big deal when you're thinking about, all this data being transmitted.
Oh, absolutely. Security is paramount.
Right. So how does the FLXI can handle that?
Well, they use military-grade encryption for all their communications,
Okay.
which basically means that the data is incredibly difficult to hack.
So it's very secure.
Extremely secure.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and it's also got Bluetooth connectivity as a backup.
What's that for?
Well, in case you're in an area without a good GSM signal, you don't lose connection entirely. You can still get the data through Bluetooth.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, they've really thought of everything.
Okay, so we've talked about all the data that it's gathering, but it's not just about collecting data. It's about giving you insights, too.
Exactly. It's about making that data meaningful and actionable.
Right.
They call it advanced vehicle data access.
Yeah.
And it's all about giving you real-time insights into things like fuel level, battery status, engine performance.
So what's the real benefit of having all that information in real time?
Well, think about it this way. If you know exactly how much fuel you have left, you're not going to get stranded unexpectedly.
Right.
And keeping an eye on battery status is especially crucial for electric or hybrid vehicles.
Yeah, you don't want to run out of juice in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. And by monitoring engine performance, you can often spot potential problems before they become major issues.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah, which means you can save yourself a lot of money on repairs down the line.
And I imagine this is especially important for people managing fleets.
Absolutely. For them, it's all about minimizing downtime and keeping their vehicles on the road.
Right.
Having all this real-time data allows them to make smarter decisions about maintenance and resource allocation.
So it's about being proactive.
Exactly. It's about staying ahead of the curve.
Now, you mentioned that it connects to the vehicle's CAN bus. Can you explain what that is and why it's important?
Sure. So the CAN bus stands for Controller Area Network.
Okay.
And it's basically the communication system that all the different electronic components in your car use to talk to each other.
So it's like the central nervous system of the vehicle.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
Cool.
So by connecting to the CAN bus, the FLEXi can get a ton of really accurate data directly from the vehicle's sensors.
Okay.
Things like fuel consumption, engine performance, even diagnostic codes.
So it's much more reliable than just relying on GPS data.
Oh, yeah. Way more reliable.
That makes sense.
And this direct access to the vehicle's systems is what allows it to offer all these advanced features.
No, it sounds like it's not just limited to cars either.
Nope, not at all.
They talk about its customizability and broad applicability.
Right.
So it can work with all sorts of vehicles, right?
Yeah, cars, trucks, pretty much anything you can think of.
Okay, so it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Definitely not. They've designed it to be really adaptable.
And that's important because people have different needs.
Exactly. Whether you're managing a fleet of delivery vans or you just want to upgrade your old car, the FLXi can handle it.
And speaking of upgrading old cars,
Yeah.
that's one of the things that really intrigued me.
What, the fact that it can basically modernize older vehicles?
Yeah, it's like you can bring them into the 21st century.
Right, by adding all these smart features that they didn't have before.
It's amazing.
It is. It's like giving your old car a whole new lease on life.
Yeah. And they also talk about turning your phone into a personal vehicle assistant, which sounds super convenient.
Oh, yeah. Imagine being able to control and monitor your car right from your phone.
That would be awesome.
It's all about putting the power in your hands.
Okay, so we've talked about the data, the insights, the flexibility, but let's not forget about security.
Right. We can't overlook that.
They have a whole section on enhanced security features.
Yeah. And there's some really impressive stuff in there.
So what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, the first thing is the real-time alerts.
Oh, okay.
Like, if someone disconnects the car battery, you get notified immediately.
Oh, that's good.
Or if the vehicle is being towed,
Okay.
or if someone's trying to use it without authorization.
So it's really about being proactive.
Exactly. It's not just about tracking your car after it's been stolen.
Right.
It's about preventing theft in the first place.
That makes sense.
And they also highlight how useful it is for families.
Oh, yeah, keeping track of teenage drivers.
Exactly. You can set up zones so you know when your kids are going where they're supposed to.
That's a great feature.
And the best part is they say it only takes 3 minutes to install.
Really?
Yeah. It's a DIY thing. No need to call a mechanic.
That's awesome.
Makes it super accessible for everyone.
Okay, so they talk about all these different target users. Let's break it down a bit.
Sure.
So for those of you who are fleet managers,
Yeah.
what are the features that would really grab your attention?
Well, being able to track fuel consumption and vehicle locations in real time is huge. It allows you to control costs and make sure your fleet is running efficiently.
Right.
And the security features are crucial too.
Yeah, you don't want your vehicles getting stolen.
Exactly. And with the FLEXI CAN, you could prevent that from happening.
And I imagine having all this data in one place makes it much easier to manage everything.
Oh, yeah. It streamlines the whole process.
Okay, so what about individual car owners?
Well, for them, I think the main appeal is the ability to add smart features to their vehicles.
Right, especially if they have an older car.
Exactly. It's like getting a whole new car without having to buy one.
And the security features would be a big plus, too.
Oh, yeah. Peace of mind is priceless.
Now, for families, how does the FLEXI CAN help them?
Well, it lets you keep track of all the family cars. You get notifications about trips, locations, everything.
So you know where everyone is at all times.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And that can be really reassuring.
Absolutely, especially if you have young drivers in the family.
Yeah, car sharing services seem like a perfect fit for this kind of technology.
Oh, yeah. It's tailor-made for them.
So what specific benefits does it offer them?
Well, they can track their vehicles in real time, manage their entire fleet remotely.
Okay.
And they can even do keyless vehicle sharing.
Oh, wow. So it makes the whole rental process much smoother.
Exactly. It's all about efficiency and convenience.
Now, they also mentioned logistics and transport companies.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
You wouldn't necessarily think of tracking excavators and forklifts.
Right. But it makes perfect sense when you think about it.
How so?
Well, those are valuable assets, and they're often left unattended on job sites.
Right.
So being able to track them and make sure they're not being stolen,
Yeah.
that's huge for those companies.
Absolutely.
And it also helps them optimize their usage, make sure they're getting the most out of their equipment.
Okay, so it's about efficiency and security across the board.
Exactly, no matter what type of vehicle or equipment you're dealing with.
So to sum it all up, the FLEXI CAN is more than just a GPS tracker.
It's a complete system.
Right. They talk about 3 core benefits.
Real-time tracking, enhanced security, simple installation.
Yep, those are the big ones.
And they're all equally important.
Yeah, and it's really about turning your vehicle into a smart asset.
Exactly, whether it's your personal car or a whole fleet.
And being able to control everything from your phone, that's a huge selling point.
Oh yeah, convenience is king.
Now, it's always great to hear from real users.
Yeah, real-world validation is key.
They have some testimonials from some pretty impressive customers.
Yeah, they've got some big names on their roster.
So what are some of the highlights?
Well, Josef Kozlish, the former footballer, he talks about how much he loves the reliability and efficiency of the system.
Okay.
He says it gives him peace of mind knowing he can track his cars in real time.
Yeah, and access them remotely.
Exactly. And he also really likes the automated reports.
Oh, yeah. Those are helpful for keeping up with maintenance.
Definitely. It takes a lot of the hassle out of car ownership.
And then there's XXLets.
Yeah, they're a big logistics company.
Right.
And they say that the FLEXI CAN has dramatically reduced their processing time.
Oh, wow. How much?
They went from 3 weeks to just 2 days.
That's a huge improvement.
It's massive. And it's all thanks to the automation and digitization that the FLEXI CAN provides.
So they're saving a lot of time and money.
Absolutely. And they've been able to redirect those resources to other areas of their business.
That's fantastic.
That's a win-win situation.
Now, they also have a testimonial from the city of Dziecin.
Yeah, in the Czech Republic. And they talk about how they've been able to optimize their municipal fleet.
Okay, so it's not just for private companies.
Nope. It works great for government agencies, too.
And what kind of improvements have they seen?
Well, they've been able to plan better routes, reduce their fuel costs, and simplify their administrative tasks.
So it's making them more efficient and more sustainable?
Exactly. They're saving money and helping the environment at the same time.
That's impressive.
It is. And it shows how versatile the FLEXI CAN is.
And finally, we have the city of Bratislava.
Yeah, another great example of how this technology can be used in the public sector.
And they're seeing similar benefits, right?
Absolutely. They've been able to optimize their routes, reduce fuel consumption, and streamline their fleet management operations.
So it's a consistent story of improvement.
Yeah, it's clear that the FLEXI CAN is delivering real results for its customers.
All right, so to wrap things up, the Xmarton FLEXI CAN is not your average GPS tracker.
It's so much more than that.
It's a comprehensive system.
Yeah, it integrates seamlessly with your vehicle.
It gives you real-time monitoring.
Enhanced security.
And it's easy to install.
Exactly. It's everything you could want in a vehicle management system.
And it's all about transforming your vehicles into intelligent assets.
Right, whether you have 1 car or 100.
And the fact that you can control everything from your phone, that's just the icing on the cake.
It's all about convenience and peace of mind.
So considering all these capabilities, what new possibilities do you see for managing vehicles?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I mean, it really makes you think about the future of mobility.
It does, doesn't it?
Like, what else can we do with this kind of technology?
The possibilities are endless.
And for you, the listener,
Yeah.
think about your own needs.
What are your pain points when it comes to managing your vehicles?
Could the FLXI can help you?
Maybe it could give you more control,
Or more security?
or just make your life a little bit easier.
It's definitely worth exploring further.
If any of this resonates with you,
Absolutely, check it out.
see what it's all about.
And let us know what you think.
We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening.
And happy driving.
See you next time.